Jag emerges as the champion of Big Brother 25. His closing speech was incredibly bold. Despite initial shock and a moment of thinking he should tone it down, he unabashedly owned it. Although my first reaction was, "Oh my God," followed by an internal plea for him to rein it in a bit, it turned out to be inconsequential because, compared to Matt, he seemed like the second coming of Dr. Will. What stood out was his frequent use of the word masterful. I mean, come on, you won competitions. That's the extent of it. For instance, when he claimed Matt saving him showcased his social game, did he conveniently forget that he was unanimously voted out that very same day? He also said what he needed to say. He owned his game and Matt didn't. The being evicted thing doesn't matter unless the jury decides it matters. Matt sealed his fate when he said his best game move was saving Jag. And it was done. He should have said he threw many comps and let Jag get all the blood. He should have taken credit for more game moves. Even if it wasn't true, your biggest game move is saving Jag and letting him smoke you in comps and social. Wow, bad speech, Matty Ice. And my sincere respect to Jag for taking the hard road to victory and still bodying Matt in question. And ended up being a good final. Lots of time with the house guests and not rushing. And did they announce the Jared and Siri connection? And the best part was that Julie asked Matt to take a guess as to who was related. And he said, "I don't know, America and Corey." It was also Matt's to fumble, and he did. It's like he never spent time thinking about what he should say. He basically talked Jag up. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. On point, it's Sophia. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching and hit the subscribe button. So let's start. Wild speculation that, if it's some ridiculous pantomime or performance, count us out. We have no interest. I'm bracing myself for the holiday surprise, anticipating it to be a gathering of former house guests, donning Santa hats and reminiscing, because, let's face it, this show has a knack for getting things wrong. Additionally, Julie mentioned in an interview that it's a concept they've explored previously. I'm just curious why she's labeling it a holiday surprise. A celebrity Big Brother, or a shorter returnee season, would probably be slated for January or February, but who knows? Also, good news, Big Brother 25 is extended through Christmas. I can't wait to watch Jag, Matt, and Bowie compete in the final 47-part Ho. Who's going to win the slip and slide? And I think we're all about to be disappointed when this turns out not to be a Winter Legends season, but instead a Big Brother Christmas episode where they bring back Christmas Abbott and her new husband Memphis to reminisce on our least favorite moments from this season. And I really hope this isn't another uncomfortable skit. Also, stop pushing Frankie as one of the faces of the show. No one likes him, and he was the beginning of the show being taken over by inauthentic wannabe influencers. Also, didn't these three start the season by, introducing the theme of the different universes for the Big Brother house? So we should expect some cringy drawn-out CGI segment of, "Okay guys, I have rebooted the machine, the multiverse is saved," that takes away valuable jury time. On the other hand, Cameron emerges as the America's favorite player for Big Brother 25. Even Cameron himself was taken aback. While I may not be a fan, I genuinely hope the prize money proves beneficial for him and his daughter, especially considering his efforts to secure the jury stipend. And people melting down about it don't realize that the majority of Big Brother viewers aren't sucked into social media discussions. Cameron had a really good underdog edit in the show, and that's why he won despite being the first juror. Also, I was just surprised Siri didn't win. I found Cameron to be pretty entertaining, honestly. He's a complicated guy, but it seemed like the other cast members were happy for him. And the most entertaining player of the season won, and in my opinion, that's a totally fair outcome. In 5 years, literally the only thing that will be remembered from this season is the meeting with the pies. And not who I was expecting to win. That underdog edit must have really helped him out there, especially against Suri, who already had a decent-sized fan base before entering the house. And this is hilarious. Cameron easily made the best TV, regardless of his feed's performance. He stood up to the Fields family steamroll when none of these other cowards would. Give the man his money. And I think a good number of people were willing to stand up to Suri's side, especially to Jared and Izzy, since we literally saw it happen. It took more than just him to actually get Izzy out. The main reason he was the one to take the shot was largely because, well, he's good at comps, and it's hard to take shots when you lose. America talked about wanting to shoot right for Suri back in week 4 or 5, but since she never won a hoe, we never got to see what America with power would have actually been like. And I didn't care for his personality on the feeds, but he was the obvious pick for AFP. The game was only entertaining when he was part of the storyline. After he left, it went downhill. Also happy for him. America loves an underdog, and he never stopped fighting and actually played the game. Same reason Cody Nixon was. Just more proof that Twitter or Reddit groupthink isn't real life. On the other hand, the final jury speech. Jag's final jury speech is one of the best ever, right? It was so unexpected and came out of nowhere. I think Matt may have won with his speech, but Jag killed it. So entertaining. After listening to Jag's speech, I felt like I got evicted. And the Matt versus Jag speeches really go to show how far confidence can carry you. I genuinely think Matt had the more balanced game, but the anxiousness made him look worse. Jag seemed convicted, and I loved how Jag answered the questions, but the final statement was way too aggressive. I get what he was going for, but he could have toned it down. And I think he'd been practicing it in his head and was going for authoritative and strong because he thought he'd lose. So when it actually came out, it was probably more aggressive than he had hoped. I think if he had given a speech about how much he wanted to make his community proud and made his points with boldness, it would have worked well. But it was endearing to see him helping Matt near the end when HouseQuest shared fun revelations, and you could see him repeating back all that was shared. It was adorable that their friendship was still there. All that to say, I think what sounded aggressive was really nervousness and assuredness of wanting to share how he deserved to win. And Jag crushed Matt in the question portion. Matt's final speech was very decent in my opinion, and the only reason Jag's speech probably didn't suck in the jury's eyes is because of how much better than Matt did in the question portion, explaining the control he had over the game, truth or not. Jag's speech was mostly just, I got you, and you evicted. I'm the best player. Do the right thing and vote for me, with not many actual details. I thought it was way too much, but hey, he won. And there's obviously bias coming from feed watchers because we know Jag was not the mastermind he portrayed himself as. And I was actually so thrilled to hear a fiery and enthusiastic speech, if not a tad exaggerated, from someone who knew exactly what moves he made. I wasn't rooting for him at the beginning and had started to change my mind during the jury cues, but his speech bought me over due to his ownership of his moves. Something Matt failed to do, and it seems to be a very polarizing speech. Part of the reason I liked it was because he finally stopped playing honestly. He kind of almost owned the villain approach, which to me is much better than not doing so. However, after tonight, what happens? After a winner is crowned tonight, how are the F3 and jury members reintroduced into society? I imagine that they have interviews to do and stuff, so maybe they spend some time in hotels, but then do they just get on a flight and return home after 100 days? I think I recall seeing that BBUK has a lot of support and therapeutic services that they provide to the HGs and their families following the game, but does BBUS do any of that? Like, how do they reintroduce these people back into the real world? Just curious. This is regarding all house guests from past seasons as well, but I was just thinking specifically about BB25 because the finale is tonight, It's been a historically long season, and so many things have happened outside of the house. And they get locked away in Todrick Hall's house for the next 3 months, until it comes out that he hasn't paid his rent since last year, and then they get to experience one final real eviction and then all get sent home. And I forgot about Todrick's house. And they post hundreds of photos in this foreclosed house. I hope they have air mattresses, because the furniture might be repossessed as well. And I still can't believe how many of them stayed there for literal months. I would have felt guilty for freeloading that long, whether he could afford it or not, but apparently they didn't. I do know some of the players from last season also initially stayed there, but not for anywhere as long as the BB23 cast. I wonder if he will still offer. Sure, he would love Siri staying there, but maybe I am wrong and don't see her spending 3 months hanging out at his place. And from 21 to 24, the cast usually hangs out for a week or more, besides as two. For the past 2 years, Todrick Hall has allowed them to use his house as a space to live and decompress. And last year, Taylor went to Disney a day or two after getting out and found it very overwhelming. She has said that they are offered therapy. I'm certain Siri will take the first flight she can. Ha! And I remember thinking if I did Big Brother, especially if I won one of the big prizes, I would stay at a hotel, because screw Todrick and his house, for a couple days to hit up Disney World and Universal Studios. Since I regret not getting to go to them the one time I was able to go to LA, but then I thought that would have to be a lot after spending so much time isolated in the BB house. Although they do go to the after parties, who knows, there have been fewer people recently due to coronavirus, including Taylor's season. So maybe back in the day, a lot left early because it was too much. And after the show, and before they get their phones back, the final 3 will have an exit press. Then they are sent on their way. The last 2 seasons, Todrick Hall has thrown an after-party the night the show ended. I'm not sure if he'll do this again, but otherwise they are pretty much sent home. Todrick has let houseguests decompress at his house if they want to. He said he needed it when he finished the celebrity version and feels like CBS should offer it themselves. I happen to agree. They should be able to stay at the jury house for a week if they need to, just my opinion. Some stay a few days at Todrick's, and others stay for a while. I'm not sure if he'll do this again this season. Last year, the winner went on the CBS morning show the next day. Is it The Talk? I don't know. CBS decided this, so we'll see if this year's winner does the same thing. In short, they'll press before getting their phones back. Then tonight, they'll be with the family, get their phones back, and do whatever they want. Expect many to pop up on several podcasts while they ride their 15 minutes, especially the ones that were recruited and are looking to be influencers. They are under CBS contract for 2 years, so there are no ABC or NBC shows and no sharing of insider secrets about production. Many in the cookout from 2 seasons ago have said their contacts are nearly up and will be able to share more details about production. And I'm cracking up at all the Todrick's house comments and the thought that they're actually contractually obligated to go. Specifically, Siri, who has been dying to go home for months now, is trapped at Todrick's house. F3 will be put in interviews and in a hotel until they wrap up exit interviews. At that point, they generally go wherever the party is. I believe the jury is essentially done with their responsibilities, and any other exit press they take is at their own discretion. I wouldn't be shocked to see Corey, America, and possibly some others do deep dives with RHAP or possibly Winner's Circle. Additionally, why aren't the first 2 parts of the final Ho aired on the second to last episode? It just seems like every year we get a rushed final, which could be easily fixed by moving those comps to the second to last episode. And the recap show should be a separate episode. Sunday should be the final eviction plus the start of the first Ho. Tuesday or Wednesday should be the rest of the first and full second Ho. Part 3 during the final, and have the final more of a reunion. Big Brother has one of the worst finals every year of any show in any genre. They treat it like just another episode with a little confetti, and the producers are probably counting on those comps to take up as much airtime as possible to make their job easier. On the other hand, did this season feel like the 25th anniversary season? I've wanted to ask this question for over a month, but wanted to wait until the end of the season to give it that chance. Given that this was Big Brother Season 25, did it feel like the 25th anniversary to you? Did it live up to the hype and stature of the 25th anniversary for you? And it did feel 25 years long, I'll give them that. Otherwise, no. My other opinion is absolutely not. They missed so many opportunities to bring back good comps and show old clips to pay homage to the past. At first, I thought it was going to be awesome when they brought out Danielle Reyes. And did this season feel like a fun, enjoyable watching experience that celebrated a milestone in the show's history? Not at all. Does a great cast that provided great gameplay and excellent TV having their season ruined by dumb twists and stupid competitions represent everything Big Brother is as it reaches a landmark season? Absolutely. And bias aside, absolutely not. The season was fun and entertaining at first, but I still stand by the fact that production really screwed this season over when they kept bringing in twists. It completely lost all of the momentum this season once had. And the Jag Mad Bowie steamroll all the way to the final three was one of the most painful endgames I have ever seen. It was so fucking boring. I'm glad Jag beat Matt. He's certainly a more interesting winner, but that definitely doesn't save the season for me. I have been thoroughly disappointed ever since Zombie Week. Throw your opinion in the comment section below. According to my discussion, it is appreciated. Thank you for watching and stay tuned with an eye on point for more.